Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be reviewing the Iwata HP CH Highline airbrush. And first of all I want to say a huge thank you to the guys over at airbrushes.com who sent me this airbrush out for review. If you check the description box down below, you'll find a direct link to airbrushes.com's web store and you can go and check them out for yourselves. So first of all we'll take a look at the box. Okay, so let's have a look at the box. So first of all, on the front of the box we can see we've got the H-line HP CH airbrush there, looking really nice with the MAC valve at the front there, with a cutout and the preset handle at the back there, looking really nice. And as we turn to this side of the box we can see the applications that this airbrush can be used for. So it can be used for food, cosmetic, body art, tanning and nail applications, and also which it's missing on the box for my personal hobby, it's making and painting, I should say, miniatures. So as we turn it to the other side of the box we can see what's really important to this box is an Iwata holographic sticker which denotes the fact that it's a genuine Iwata airbrush. Now it's really important, guys, that you try and get your Iwata from a reputable, I should say, seller like airbrushes.com, which denotes the fact you're going to get a genuine Iwata airbrush. So avoid places like eBay and that sort of thing. You don't know whether they've been used, you don't know whether they've been abused, or worst case scenario, you don't know whether you're getting a fake Iwata. So stick to the reputable sellers there. So without further ado, we're going to open the box and check the contents. So let's take a look inside the box. So first of all we can see that we've got a quick guide to airbrushing here. This is very basic. It's going to show you literally as a beginner how to airbrush. So not a lot of literature, but it would be helpful if you've literally just started airbrushing. You get a really nice Iwata sticker for your hobby bench, so that's really nice. And also, which is exclusive to airbrushes.com, is that if you actually live in the UK and you purchase this airbrush, Iwata airbrushes, excluding the Neo, I'll have a 10-year extended warranty from the 5-year warranty. So a 10-year warranty. Now if that doesn't speak volumes of the quality of Iwata airbrushes, then I don't know what does. So inside the box we've got the HP CH airbrush. We've got some super lube, which is going to come in handy further along down the line of owning this airbrush when you want to actually lube up some of the mechanical joints of the airbrush and make sure it's running nice and smoothly. We also get a little wrench in the box to take off the nozzle tip. So that's what we get in the box there. I'll just slide that back in if I can. Yep, there we go. So let me tell you a little bit about my history with some Iwata airbrushes. Okay, so this airbrush here is 4 years old, guys, and it's an Iwata CMC custom micron airbrush, and it is absolutely fantastic. Now I'm not reviewing this airbrush, but I'm bringing it up because I've owned this for nearly 4 years now, guys, and I've not had to replace one part on it. That's how good and how much quality are packed into these airbrushes. The PTFE packing seal is still perfectly fine. The needle still has its pin sharp needle tip. All the joints still screw on nice and tightly. This is why you pay for an Iwata airbrush. You pay for precision engineered quality. And if you hear anyone say well, my cheap Chinese airbrush can do the same, well, they've either never used an Iwata airbrush before or they're lying to you. I've been airbrushing for years now, guys, and I can honestly and safely say that Iwata airbrushes, in my personal opinion, are unrivaled against any other brand. Now I've used Badger, I've used Harder and Steenback, I've used Sparmax, I've used unbranded airbrushes, and none of them come close to the quality and the precision that you're afforded with an Iwata airbrush. So that's my history with Iwata airbrushes, and I'm super excited to actually be in possession of this new Iwata airbrush. So let's go over some of the features of the HP CH airbrush. Okay guys, so it has a 0.3mm needle nozzle set, so it's going to be perfect for base coating, it's going to be perfect for fine line detail work on your miniatures, perfect for that, and all of the other features that I said it was good for earlier on when I was mentioning the different hobbies that it could be used for on the side of the box there. It's gravity feed with a 9mm cup. It's dual action, which basically means one action would be to press it down to release air, and the second action would be to pull it back to release paint. It's an internal mix. Pretty much what I just said a moment ago. It's fine detail from 0.3mm to 25mm spray pattern. It's got the MAC valve at the front, which I'll show you later on in the video when I actually start spraying. But basically with the MAC valve, we can open or close the MAC valve up, which stands for micro air control, and what that enables us to do is we can paint large areas at high psi, high pressure, by completely opening up the MAC valve and spraying that way, and then we can get much closer to our object source by closing down the MAC valve a little, and then we can lower the psi and spray that way. So that's another great feature of this airbrush. It also has a PTFE solvent proof needle packing. Now most cheap airbrushes come with rubber seals and they deteriorate much quicker, they expand, they can crack, they can crumble, whereas with a PTFE seal it's good for solvent based liquids. So if you're going to use your Alclad type paints, that sort of thing, it's going to be fine for that. It's got tapered gravity feed cup, so the paint's it's going to be economical with the paint more because it's tapered, so you can put a few drops in, and it's also going to be easier to clean the paint out the cup there. And see if we got any other features on this airbrush. I think that's covered it really, guys. Well, we got the cutout at the back, which is brilliant for pulling back on the needle chuck, and then we can release the air, and that'll easily clean out the airbrush cup really fast when we're getting rid of excess paint or we're cleaning out the airbrush. It also has the preset handle at the back, or you could call it the trigger limiting system if you like, which basically, if you can actually see, I'll zoom in, we can dial it in and out, and we can limit the travel on the trigger, so only a certain amount of paint can come out the airbrush, which is a superb feature if you want to get fine lines of the exact same width every single time. So that's a brilliant feature to have on this airbrush. And I think that's covered pretty much most of the features of this airbrush. So the best thing to do now is to actually show you the performance of this airbrush. So I'm going to spray some paint on some paper to see some of the line widths and line weights that we can get out of this airbrush. Okay guys, so I've hooked up an air hose to the HP CH there, and also I've turned on my compressor. I've also added some paint to the airbrush cup, and I've used Com Art Colours airbrush paints from Iwata Madeira there. And now I'm just going to spray in some very fine lines first of all. And I'm just going to drop down the pressure by just turning that dial in, and you can see I can get even more fine lines and get even closer to my object source. Those lines are so thin and smooth, guys. And then if we want to do large background spraying, or if we're base coating a model, for example, we can open up the airbrush and we can get smooth spray like so, like that. And just dropping the PSI again by turning the Mac valve, and we can get some really nice smooth fine lines. Drop the pressure a bit more. This airbrush, guys, is absolutely fantastic. It really is. Quality in abundance. I highly recommend Iwata airbrushes, and I recommend them over any other brand of airbrush. It's worth saving up for this type of airbrush. If you're actually thinking of getting your first airbrush and you're thinking, do I want an expensive airbrush or not? Well, it pays in the end. As I said, with my CMC airbrush that I've had for pretty much 4 years now, it's still as good as new. It still works beautifully, and I'm sure this airbrush will be exactly the same as that. So please put a comment down in the comments field below. If you own an Iwata, let everyone know the quality of the Iwata brand. Let people know how good these airbrushes really are. Also, again, I'd like to say a huge thank you to airbrushes.com, who sent me this airbrush out for review. Please check the description box below. You'll find a direct link, and you can find out even more about this beautiful airbrush on their web store. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.